What is good, y'all? You are listening to episode 59 of the Alternative Facts Podcast. All right, GQ.
Yeah, it's your boy BarZ.
Hey, it's your boy Danger Felix, aka Brother Love, aka Determination, aka right here.
That's love.
That's what heart's at.
That was beautiful. we appreciate that. Since we're on the topic of being sentimental, I think there was something you wanted to share as the show begins.
Yeah, so we erred last podcast. There was something that was really big that happened that we forgot to mention, and we do apologize for that. But it was a really big historical event with Kamala Harris being nominated and selected for vice president of the United States, which is huge. You know, she is the first African American, Jamaican, South Asian, Indian woman ever. Basically, the first brown, black person, minority person ever to be nominated and selected for vice president, and also only the third woman. So it was a huge historical event. We applaud her for that, and we do apologize for missing it, but really, really big. I think it goes beyond politics, whether you are Republican, not independent, Green Party, whatever your thing is. It's huge for us as a country, you know what I mean, that we have that type of representation.
It shows progression.
I want to say sorry about that. And yeah. And we'll look out for that in the future so we don't miss any really, really important events like that.
Yeah, we're going to be
back to you,
definitely going to be on top of things with that. So, needless to say, 2020 has been a bitch. We could say it. 2020 has been extremely relentless, and we have yet another event that just took place. I literally got the alert super late last night, and I think everybody got the alert at the same time, because once I got it, my text messages were blowing up. Alerts on all other platforms were blowing up. Everybody, I think, got the news at the same time. Chadwick Boseman, 42 going on 43, tragically passed away due to his long 4-year battle against colon cancer. When I got the alert on my phone, I swore it was fake. I swore it was fake. Because when I got it, I looked at it, and it took me a while because I'm like, I'm not registering the name with the news. I'm looking at Chadwick Boseman, and then I'm looking at Thoze, and I'm like, nah, I'm not looking at this right. I'm not reading this correctly.
Yeah.
So as I'm sitting there and I'm trying to register it, I get a text message. Then I get a news alert, another news alert. Then I get a WhatsApp message. Then my phone rings and my sister's calling me like, yo, did you hear what happened? And I'm like, yo, this is not happening.
Yeah.
Like
it was very random.
Yeah.
Like for him to be battling this for 4 years and us not have any inkling of an idea. Like, okay, when he posted the pictures of him losing weight and stuff.
That's when there was a little bit of concern.
Yeah, but at the same time, I thought it was for a role.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people thought. I thought that too.
A Will Smith
because I'm comparing that to when 50 Cent lost weight for that role that he was doing. I thought it was kind of like the same thing.
When I watched The Five Bloods, it was like, okay, so that's what this was for. You know, because it seemed like he was still fit. He wasn't like skinny like he was sick. He was still fit. He was just thinner. So yeah, man, to find that out and for it to be 4 years when he was, I mean, unfortunately, when he was first diagnosed, he was already at stage 3.
Yeah.
You know, so you figure 4 years ago, he's 39 years old, stage 3 cancer, colon cancer. You know, they don't, you're not supposed to get prostate checked until up at late 30s, 40.
40, yeah. That's when they recommended. Doctors recommended a 40.
Yeah.
So by that time, it's too late.
Yeah.
I'm not really much for conspiracy theories. I think some of them hold weight, but a lot of them don't. But I find it very interesting how they are these prominent young black men, these societal leaders. I know we don't think about him in the same way because he's an actor, but when you think about the roles
what he represents,
for the culture. I mean, he is definitely, I think, a leader for the culture. And I think it's very interesting how these young Black leaders are dying early of these cancers. I think Elle pointed out to me that Bob Marley also died of cancer too in his 30s. So, I mean, I think it's very interesting. I hope that there's investigations. I mean, I don't know if we'll be able to know because it was 4 years ago, but I just think that it's either one, somebody's doing it to them because they see their potential and their influence or what they could be in the future. Or maybe it's just us, having to keep track of our health, watching what we eat, and doing better to monitor that way. But you're not the first person to bring that possible conspiracy up, because I came across something like that last night too, about how he was such a prominent figure, and for him to just leave us that way, it's almost like a sign of suppression of the Black community. I don't know what to think at this point.
I mean, at a time, as critical as it is right now, everything happening within the country, and the way, Black people are represented right now, and for that figure to be lost. You know what I'm saying? Like the Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman, yes, but he's forever going to be the Black Panther. You know what I mean? And what that character represents, and we need him right now. It's crazy.
And it's crazy because of all the prominent Black figures he was able to play in that short amount of time in his career. Because yes, Black Panther was probably the pinnacle, but building up to that, Jackie Robinson, James Brown, Thurgood Marshall.
Get On Up was on last night. Like when I heard the news, I was flipping through the TV and Get On Up was on. It was towards the end. It was the last scene, and it was him as James Brown reflecting on life. And it was just crazy. It was wild.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It just, I'm not gonna lie. It hit me different. It really messed me up. Like I thought Kobe was bad, and it was. This hit me a little different as well. This really messed me up. Like I was at that time, because I was on the computer, but I was getting sleepy. I got that news. I was wide awake, and I just couldn't sleep right.
Yeah.
So, man,
I'm fortunate that my godson, he's not old enough to understand that his favorite superhero is not here anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
it's kind of like what you said about he'll always be Black Panther. I think that for Black Panther too, I don't know if they have to change anything given the circumstances, or maybe they had an insight about the health ahead of time. But they have an opportunity, I feel like, if they need to change it so that we can keep the image of that Black Panther. Even if they transition it to somebody else, if they have to do like a time lapse at the end of the movie so where he's old like his dad was, to pass it on, something like that to preserve the image so that we know that this Black Panther had fulfilled his role and he's moving on, something like that.
Well, there were a lot of rumors about...
So we don't lose it.
There were a lot of rumors about because even in the comics, the sister took it over for a little bit of time.
Right.
And I think even when they were working on the outline of what part 2 was going to be, they were already discussing the sister taking over for the role.
And
so I think they kind of had an inkling of something.
I'm assuming he gave him a heads up. You know what I'm saying? He was fortunate enough to have people around him who was able to keep this thing tight. Because to go 4 years without having
4 years and nobody knew anything.
You know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure him being a professional, he gave Marvel the heads up. I think, unfortunately for us, 2020 has been such a fucked up year. COVID happened. A lot of production went down. You know what I'm saying? They probably had things set up to where, okay, we know this is going to happen inevitably, but let's try to get ahead of it now and maybe shoot some stuff here and there. But if all the production sets are shut down, then... You know what I'm saying? Because I believe his character was listening to a few movies that was coming up before Black Panther to kind of set that storyline up.
Yeah.
So did they already finish Black Panther 2? They already finished Black Panther 2 or no? Oh.
They haven't
started filming
it? They didn't start yet. They were in pre-production at the time.
Yeah.
They didn't film yet.
Yeah, they were working hard on the script because remember Ryan Coogler, he wasn't going to do the second one originally. They were trying to find another director and then circle back to him. So they were still working all that stuff out, man. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Marvel moves. Not that I'm sure that's not on the top priority, you know, but they have to continue some kind of way. Yeah. Do we accept another figure in that role?
It depends on how they transition it.
Yeah, you have to you have to do it in a very tasteful, respectful way of preserving his memory. Like, we know that this was this Black Panther, and this will only be this Black Panther.
Right.
Kind of like if we had the Green Lantern series. If you had that one Lantern that, you know, or like Captain America. Like, what's the name is? This is the Captain America, or 007, where whoever your favorite was, you know what I mean? Whoever your favorite James Bond moniker was, that's that guy. You know what I mean? You don't just get a new movie and it's just kind of like, oh, here's a new guy. You know, start watching him. That's your new favorite. Like, no, you have to kind of change of the guard. You got to send this person off with respect, and then transition into the new person with a new suit, something that's more identifiable to this new character introduced. So yeah.
And, you know, hopefully they have a lot of, you know what I mean? Hopefully they have a lot of footage that wasn't used from Black Panther.
Yeah.
Or you know, the Infinity Wars. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully there's a lot of that footage that we haven't seen of Black Panther, and maybe they can
get incorporated in some new stuff.
You know what I'm saying? So there's still hope.
I sincerely hope so, because I as far as we've come with the digital stuff, I think it only works in pieces. You know, you can't really do like a whole movie or whole sections of movies with the digital. I think it only works in spurts. You know what I mean?
Like a perfect example was the newer Star Wars films.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they did that very well, but remember, it was in little sections, and that's
right. And then you see like Gemini Man, which the concept was cool, but there were some spots where you could tell it was obviously digital, which I don't know if it took away from the movie that much, depending on who you were. Like, but you just noticed it. You know what I mean? Where if it was an actual person, you wouldn't notice it as much.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, well, even for Gemini Man, like comparing like Gemini Man to what was it, Fast 7?
Fast 7. That's the one with Paul Walker.
You know, it was more, Fast 7 was more action. So a lot of those scenes, it didn't necessarily require too much focus on the face, as opposed to Gemini Man, where it was a conversation between two characters. So they'll have to figure out a way to maybe incorporate. I see a lot of people using this face mapping thing on Facebook now, or even just on social media in general. Have you guys seen it? The app?
Yeah, there's two different apps for that. There's one called Reface.
Yes, that's it, Reface.
And there's another one. Forgot what the other one was called. But yeah, there's a lot of deep fake software out there that people mess with.
Yeah. So I mean, if we have access to that type of technology, I'm pretty sure they have some far more superior shit going on.
And you know what? To not to be the bearer of more bad news, but Clifford Robinson, Trailblazers, also dead.
At 50, he's 53, right?
53.
Well, did they say his cause of death?
They said that his cause of death was not immediately specified. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. But definitely, man, our condolences go out to his loved ones, everybody that cared about him, especially his direct family. Yeah, it's tough, man. And then we gotta transition over to some other things that are going on, some more tomfoolery. Jacob Blake. So from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know like the intricate details, but what was he trying? Was he like breaking up a fight? And then the cops came, and then he was walking to his car, and they just lit him up.
Well, the story goes, he was cooking out with his family.
Yeah.
And I guess some neighbors were arguing, two women, and he was breaking them up. Somebody called the police on some domestic charges, and they came out, and they were trying to talk to him, but he wasn't trying to talk or whatever. This is the original story again. He wasn't really trying to talk. He put his kids in the truck. A struggle ensued, I guess, on one side of the vehicle, which you couldn't see. But he managed to get up, and he got up. He didn't run away. He got up and casually walked. You know, you can see the officers asking him to stop, but he just continues walking, and he opens his car door. He goes to get in his car before an officer grabs him by his shirt and then lets off 7 shots into his back with his 3 children in the backseat. Supposedly, Blake let the officers know that he had a knife in the vehicle. When after they shot him, they retrieved the knife. The knife was under the floorboard of the driver's seat. So it wasn't a way for him to get to the knife.
Yeah.
You know, so there was no weapon or anything like that either. So it's just another case. And of course, you have those trying to justify it, saying, "Oh, well, he had a warrant out for his arrest." I've seen.
Nah, man. Yeah. Listen. What? Does anybody know that he has a warrant for his arrest at the time? No, that's researched after the fact. I hate when people do that.
But that doesn't even matter.
It's annoying. And not to mention, if this man was willing to broadcast to the cops, hey, I have a knife in the car, that's not the sign of a person that's going to do anything with it. He's just letting you know, hey, listen, there's a knife there, just giving you a heads up so you don't freak out when you see it.
Yeah. And would he put his children in danger like that?
No. That's stupid. Not to mention, I'm sure he had, the cop had plenty of other things he could have used to detain him. He went straight for the gun. Straight for the gun?
Showed up. There were 3 officers surrounding him.
3 officers surrounding him, and he's walking away, so he's not a threat. You couldn't pull out your stun gun? You couldn't do that?
No mace?
Nothing.
No mace.
Wrestle him to the ground.
Wrestle him to the ground.
I mean, there's more than 2. I mean, you're trained. The whole thing is you're trained officers. I don't want people out there. I've heard stuff like cops are afraid to do their jobs and this. What the public has to understand is that police officers are trained in hand-to-hand combat. They're trained with their nightsticks. They can defend themselves way more than the average person.
Right.
I mean, it's not military training, but it's on a level where they can definitely defend themselves.
But what drives me crazy?
There's multiple cops. You have more than 2 cops. You can physically get somebody down.
You could,
because we see you do it. We see you do it to non-black people. Mm-hmm. See you do it to non-black people, so we know it's possible.
That's another thing. Because I saw this video of a similar situation with this one white guy standing outside of his truck, cussing the cop out,
threatening him.
Right, and threatening him, like facing the cop, threatening him. And the cop standing there with his gun, not doing anything. There was no shots fired there, though. Not that I'm saying that he should have been shot, but I'm just looking at both situations.
By comparison, that's what it is. The apples to apples, and that's the issue, and that's why people are in the street protesting, because we see videos like we see with Jacob Blake. We've seen it with Mr. Aubrey. We see this, and then we also see videos on our local news of when it's white people. It's predominantly white people. Most of the time they're drunk, or they're just upset and they're like, I'm not going to do this shit. I know my rights. Mm-hmm. And they're doing all types of crazy stuff, but we're not seeing them handled the same way. Yeah, that's the issue. What we're talking about, a lot of people want to sit there and bring politics into it. Let's keep it black and white, right? It's about the law. It's about the law. It's about the law. Mm-hmm. Handle it the same way. Procedures in place. It is the law.
1,000%.
Your job is to bring them in. It's to apprehend, not to execute.
Yeah. That's
what the protests are about. Apprehend us like you apprehend others if there indeed is a crime. Because that's another thing that's a little weird, is that a lot of the people that we see are not committing crimes. So for the people who are like, oh, well, he had a warrant, the people who are like, oh, he had a knife, I would say this. If he had a warrant, right, if the cops were taking him in, is multiple. Your job is to apprehend. He has a knife in the truck. He told you he has a knife. I'm going to apprehend you. You tell me where the knife is. I will get it. As an officer, I will get it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Why would I put you in a position to make me nervous?
In front of my
Why would I put you in a position to maybe me make a bad decision? I'm going to take the decision out of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the anxiety or the worry that I may feel, because I may feel threatened as an officer, even though there's 5 of my buddies behind me. I still might feel threatened. Okay, you stand over here next to my partner. You stay over here. You show me where the knife is. I will check.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what was weird about the video is he gets up and walks around. He does not run. There's no struggle. They're not grabbing him around the car. Walks around the car, opens the door like he's about to leave or whatever. It seemed very casual. And then they go to jump on him like, wait, what was going on that you let him walk around the car?
Exactly.
If there is a threat, and this is the whole thing. We see this other times, right, where they handcuff somebody behind their back and put them on the curb. You sit on the curb, and then they check the car. It's weird that you let him get to
the door, and then you do something.
Yo, it's crazy because okay, if he had drugs in his system, they could use. Oh, he was so strong. You know, he overpowered us. That wasn't the case. Like, you guys didn't do anything to stop this man from getting into his vehicle. You literally waited for him to get into his vehicle before you let off 7 shots. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 7. Not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 shots in the back at close range. Like, you wanted to kill this man.
And you know what's the craziest thing about the stuff that we're seeing? I feel like it's been years. I feel like it's at least been like at least 2 years since they introduced the body cameras. But it hasn't worked. There's supposed to be a measure to try to curb and prevent these type of things that happen, this violence against Black and brown people that is disproportionate under the law.
Yeah.
But we're not. We're seeing the cases just as we've seen them before. If anything else, we're getting closer views because they're wearing the cameras of the crimes happening. And I think that that's part of this boiling point.
Yeah, but I could be wrong.
It's this arrogance of that. I know I have a camera on. I'm going to do it anyway because there's no consequence.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know.
I could be wrong, but I think I read an article where it said the cop that killed him didn't have a body cam on.
That one.
Oh, of course. How convenient.
Oh, he had one. It just wasn't on, or he didn't have one at all.
They said he didn't have one on him at all.
Okay.
Now it'll come out later if he did or not. Of course, we'll get the video and we'll see. But
and does that mean nobody there had a body camera though? None of the 6? Because it'd be real interesting if one of the whole 6 has the body camera and coincidentally he's pointed the opposite way of the action. Like his back is turned.
Right.
Stuff going on. Just I'm not saying that that's the case, but it would be very interesting if.
No, there's never any conspiracies. So let me ask you guys something. How do you feel about? Okay, we know he wasn't killed. He didn't die. Jacob Blake. He's not dead. But unfortunately, he's currently paralyzed from the waist down.
Yeah.
How do you feel about him being handcuffed by the ankle to the bed?
That pisses me off because the dude is paralyzed. What can he possibly do? It's not like he has weapons on him.
That's not how you treat a human being. That's how you treat animals.
It's bad enough that you shot him. It's bad enough that you shot him. So he's already messed up about that. Now to further humiliate him by handcuffing him as if he has somewhere to go.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a message. I feel like it's a message. It's not necessary because they spoke to the doctors. The doctors speak to the police officers to let them know the state so they know how to proceed with them.
Exactly.
If it was a situation where he was perfectly physically capable and maybe they gave him drugs that he was going to, affect his system adversely, or maybe he's frenetic or something like that, I would understand keeping the handcuffs because he may injure somebody.
Right.
But the doctors told the officers that he's paralyzed.
The waist down.
There's no need for handcuffs, but they kept it on until I think recently. It was reported, I think as of today.
Yesterday. Yeah.
Like that's not how you treat human beings, no matter who you are. And it doesn't matter what you did. You treat people like humans under the law, man. You gotta
they don't look at us like human beings. That's the issue.
Yeah. And that's one of the things too I wanted to make sure I say before we move on from the segment is that a lot of people are talking about the protests. A lot of people have a lot of opinions on the protests and the looting and the rioting. And I just want to say this to put it in perspective so they hear it. The stuff that we're seeing in the streets, these demonstrations, the peaceful protests, the non-peaceful protests, these are symptoms. It's not the illness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These are the symptoms of the illness. The illness is Black people being murdered.
Yet they want to make a bigger deal about the riots.
And that's not what it's about. Those are symptoms. Because you think about it, right? If we had true equality, if we were seeing rogue officers, if we were seeing bad apples being punished, you wouldn't have people out in the streets protesting. We would have no need. If we really had the equality that people claim is already there, you wouldn't have this. These are symptoms. The illness is the inequality, guys.
Right.
The symptoms is the fact that there are laws, there's legislations, there are statements being made by people in power that don't show and depict Black lives mattering.
Mm-hmm.
That's the illness. You take care of this, you won't have the other stuff. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Try it. Try it. Try that stuff for a year. Make sure that when we see cases like we've been seeing where it's unfair treatment, make sure that those, if we have those instances that cops are being punished to the full extent of the law, try it for a year. Let's see if we have any more of these instances.
Yeah.
That's gonna be my challenge. That's gonna be my challenge. Just try for one whole year, 365 days. That's the.
And then another great example, the 17-year-old vigilante, right?
Vigilante.
The one that walked. He had what kind of gun was it? It was a very noticeable large gun.
He had an AR-15.
AR-15.
Yeah.
Nobody stops this kid, right? And he kills how many people? 2, 3 people?
2 people, shoots 3. So
shoots 3, kills 2.
There's pieces of video from this night that came out. One of the videos I saw, you see the 17-year-old kid with the group of men, white men, with semi-automatic weapons. They're approached by police officers, and police officers are giving them water as they're driving by, having conversations and greeting them and thanking them for coming out to help protect the neighborhood and all this kind of shit, right? In another video, I see one of those same men that was armed, not a police officer, just a regular civilian with the AR-15. He was saying how he spoke to one of the cops down there, and the cops said, "Yeah, man, you guys are doing great. We're just gonna push the protests towards you guys, and you guys do whatever." It's one of the videos I saw. Next thing you know, you see another video. See this kid being chased, or this guy with the gun being chased by a mob of people. He falls to the ground, mob of people jumps on him, he starts letting off shots. You think, okay, that's protection. He's protecting himself. You know what I'm saying? He's being jumped by a mob of people. Come to find out, this kid had just shot somebody up the road, which is why he's being chased by this mob of people.
Wow. And then what happened? The cops had the nerve to say, "Oh, those deaths took place because they weren't following curfew."
Yo.
Right? That's what they said, right?
The sheriff, he at a press conference, he says curfew was at 11 o'clock, and all those individuals are out past 11 o'clock. Had they been home, this would not have happened.
But Black Lives Matter, though, right?
Well, yeah, supposedly Black Lives Matter. So that takes us.
It only matters though if they're not if they're under curfew.
Yeah.
Over curfew.
Yeah.
And then random people can kill them. And then random people can kill them. Not even cops this time.
Exactly.
It's not even just cops. It's okay. You got a gun. You want to go out there. Open season.
17-year-old kid who doesn't even live in the fucking city, coming from out of state, driven there by his mother, dropped off to quote unquote protect. Why you're going to another city to protect businesses that you have nothing to do with? Like,
and to put it in perspective, when they had the protests and there were car fires and stuff out in Miami, you saw some business owners with rifles. I think there was a jewelry store downtown with rifles, and they were out there, protecting their businesses, and no one got hurt. They were standing outside with their rifles, letting people know, hey, not over here. Nobody messed with them. Nobody came and harassed the store. Right. People walked on by. Like you said, he wasn't there to protect property he owned. He wasn't protecting his neighborhood. So there really was no reason for him to be out there. He's not any type of security that's being hired for that area. He's not a police officer. He's not a service aide. He's not, the National Guard. He has no reason to be out there. I don't know if Wisconsin is like Florida. In Florida, we're an open carry state. So there's certain weapons that you could actually carry out in public legally. But it doesn't mean you should.
He was not legally, he was not concealed a weapon legally. That was not his weapon. He was not a legal age to conceal a weapon.
So he was out there illegally. He was out there. Okay, so let me make sure I got the facts right. So he was out there with an illegal firearm.
Yep.
After curfew.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And he's justified because other people were out there after curfew.
I guess so. He was helping the police. He was they said he was out. This is what they said. This is how they set it up. They said he came out to resolve conflictive issues. Helping police resolve conflictive issues.
So let me get this. So he's 17 years old. He needs to help the cops. He needs to help. A 17-year-old needs to help grown-ass men who are trained and paid to be out there.
Apparently so.
They had no backup people at the station. No, there was no adjacent precinct that could drive over a couple miles. They needed a 17-year-old boy.
Yeah.
That's what he was. He's a boy.
Yeah.
And for the mother to just kind of bring
area
him and drop him off like he was going to daycare or something.
Oh, how is he being in fucking jail too?
Yeah.
Like, fuck are you doing? The hell are you doing?
He had to have thought this out to drive into the city.
Child neglect. She should get
all that accomplice murder.
Like all of that shit. All of that shit.
And the thing about it is I'm hoping this is not a trend. It wasn't a trend when it happened. I believe it was in Virginia where they hit that girl. I think it was out there in Richmond where they hit that girl with the car. And we didn't see a whole lot of instances after that. So I sincerely hope this is not a trend of this behavior.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where people feel like it's okay to go out there and murder people. And these are opportunities to show that we have true equality. This young man needs to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law to show others that this behavior will not be tolerated. It can't.
I can't even believe there was a GoFundMe for this kid. They had a GoFundMe account set up for this kid.
I'm not surprised, man. There's a real concern. There's a lot of official militias. I don't know if this kid belonged to one. I don't know if they found that out yet. There's a lot of official militias all across the United States that probably support him because they don't agree with the riots. They don't agree with, not even just the riots, they don't agree with any of the protests, peaceful or otherwise. So.
And then that brings us to transition into the NBA and how they're pretty much going on strike because of all the things that are happening to make a statement. I think WNBA followed suit as well.
It was interesting because there were days leading up to them not playing. It was like 2 or 3 days. I kept seeing on ESPN that they're talking about it. They're discussing possibly not playing. I think it was it Boston?
I think it was Milwaukee, right?
That was starting with Boston and the Raptors.
Milwaukee's the one that's
Milwaukee. So it was Milwaukee. So they were talking about it, and they were talking about maybe not playing, and they were discussing it, and then the day come, and they were like, "No, we decided we're not doing it." And it was like a domino effect because once they didn't do it, all the other teams didn't do it. WNBA didn't do it. MLB started postponing games, and then MLS too, soccer. The international sports started doing it too. Tennis. Yeah. Soccer.
Yeah. So, Milwaukee, they were the domino. They were the one domino that kind of knocked everyone else down. And I think, so the NBA, they had this plan when they went into this bubble. Okay, they went into this bubble on a unified choice. This was a choice. We understand everything that's going on in the world. Maybe this is one of the things that could possibly just help things while we figure out the rest. You know what I'm saying? It was that kind of thing. So Milwaukee made this decision to not play, respectively, because the incident took place not far from where Milwaukee is. So they felt a sense of responsibility when it came to their city. They didn't really give anybody a heads up. The Orlando Magic, they went out to shoot around like you normally would before a game, and then they left the floor. And then that's when everyone else started to now we're not going to play, we're going to cancel, and all this stuff. The players, they had a few meetings. I hear the meetings didn't go that well. Everyone voted to play to resume the rest of the season outside of the Clippers and the Lakers. I hear LeBron James was very upset, and he wanted to stop the season. But a lot of the younger players have voted against him. And according to Stephen A., he says they didn't really appreciate the way LeBron, addressed them during the meeting. Some of the things that he was saying, almost on some, I got mines kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm good. Like I don't need this. I'm good. And you have newer players that are in the league who contract isn't as big. You know what I'm saying? They need those ends.
Yeah.
So they figured out something where they can resume the season, and they're going to do other things throughout as well as after in the communities and things like that, which I think was good. I think it was a good thing. I don't know how effective it's going to be boycotting those games, but if they're able to put some energy into what's happening, into the injustice going on in America and things like that, even more so now, I don't know what more they can really do. I don't know what more the owners have to get involved at this point. The owners are going to have to do something.
Yeah, I think they've definitely done a lot. I mean, the NBA done a lot. They really came out real big during this bubble with, the commercials and the graphics on the floor, with promoting Black Lives Matter and equality in these movements and this harmony.
Yeah.
And you're right. I don't know which more they can do. I feel like I don't know if they've decided on a way forward. I don't think I've heard anything about it. I know they're resuming games. I think that the best thing they can do, like you said, is the owners. The owners, a lot of these guys, almost all of them really are billionaires with a B. And when you have that type of money, you have influence. You know people. Typically, you probably know representatives. You probably have some local officials that you donate to their campaigns and stuff. So I feel like they need to use that leverage to say, hey, we need you to change legislation. And they probably can't do the United States because some of them don't have pull like that. For those who can, absolutely put it on a federal level. But you just take like Milwaukee, you take Wisconsin, you take these places that we have in these incidences, and you take Atlanta, you take all of these places, right? Even the places that haven't had these incidents. Let's put something in place so we don't have these incidents.
Yeah. Something
on the books locally. So if we're talking about the city of Atlanta, and the city of Atlanta, for police conduct, this is how we're going to handle things. And we're going to make sure when it comes to like the vigilante thing, we're going to make sure whether they're black or brown, we have to have something legally in place to say, we're going to handle this way.
Right.
That way, if something happens, we can't deviate. We can't sit there and say, well, we're going to have discussions on it. And we're going to let somebody take, they're going to be off the job for a little while we investigate. No, if we're going to do this, this is going to happen, and prosecution's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like a full blueprint of exactly what will happen, not any discretionary considerations of what, the police chief wants to do about it. Well, he's a nice guy. We play golf together. I'm going to let him off for the warning, and then he'll be back to work in a couple of months. No, legally, this is the law in Atlanta, in Miami, in Florida, depending on, the clout that player, that owner has. We have to get that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. We have to do it at a local level, and hopefully it rolls to a federal level. But for now, that's what I think they can do. Do it locally. Do it in your city first. And if you can do it in your state, do it in your state. But I think that's where we have to go from here. And I think that with all of the sports doing that, I just want to say that I'm grateful. I appreciate the support. You know what I mean? I know that the NBA has a lot of clout because they're like 80%, 85%, maybe 90% black. But there's also international players. Yeah. MLB came, and there's not as many black people. MLS has even less black people.
Yo,
it's good to see that we have allies and supporting this. So I just want to say that, I'm just grateful for that. We got to keep that up.
Absolutely. The Marlins and the Mets, I thought they did a beautiful thing where they came out on the field, pitched around a little bit, lined up, national anthem, went to home plate, dropped the Black Lives Matter shirt on the home plate, and walked off the field. Like, things like that, very symbolic, very symbolic. And, they say, what is boycotting sports going to do? I mean, sports reach out to a lot of different nationalities, a lot of different people, a lot of races and creeds, So if this was something that you weren't paying attention to, you're kind of forced to now. There's no way that you can't see it. If you're tuning into your favorite baseball team and they're not playing, you want to know why they're not playing. Well, this is why they're not playing. So at that point, you have to either look at yourself in the mirror and decide, okay, am I paying attention to this now? Am I really seeing this now, or am I going to continue to be oblivious to what's actually going on, outside of my door?
Yeah. Also, the money aspect, I don't think people forget, but due to this pandemic, we talk about restarting the economy and stuff. And since basketball's been out, advertisement has been all-time high. I think marketing and advertising has never been more important, I think, than right now, because you as a company need to let people know that you still working. You still open. If you're Citibank, hey, we're still open. We got these great products. Buy this, because for a lot of people who still have the ability to spend money, they got to spend money. Even if you're at home, buy stuff online. Amazon's doing commercials. Bank of America's doing stuff for checking accounts. It's super important. So with all of these sports not playing, guess what? That ad you paid for is not really getting played.
Yeah.
That the graphics, your banner on the floor of the NBA bubble courts, of the banners up on the tennis, all of those brands, all of those companies, all those sponsors, that's not being seen. And if that's not being seen, you're not getting customers. You're not getting customers. You ain't getting bankroll. We don't get no money flow. The economy's not restarting the way it's supposed to. So, it does have an economic component to it too. To let people know that I'm pretty sure that if they calculated, there's been probably at least a couple of $1 million that were probably lost over the last couple of days with all these sports shutting down. At least a couple million.
So I got a question here. Is prohibition back? How do we answer that question, Sir Danger?
I would say maybe. Maybe. So it's a funny thing, right? Throughout the course of history, there's been times where there have been some sort of form of prohibition. I believe the first start was when they outlawed marijuana. There's a time in the United States that smoking marijuana was completely legal. It was like nothing, like smoking a cigarette. And then that actually became illegal, which brought us probably to the most famous prohibition, which was alcohol, and the era of bootleggers and the mafia. I think that's probably the last time we had a real prohibition like that. So this one is not quite as serious, but I thought it was very interesting. So because of the pandemic, a lot of stuff is shut down, right? A lot of stuff that people feel like they need is shut down. One of these things is gyms. A lot of gyms are still shut down, especially in certain cities where they're just like, no more gyms reopening.
And there's some home complexes too.
Yeah,
my gym has been open since fucking May.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah, mine opened up, but it's on. You had to have a reservation first. It's like there's time slots. So if someone's already in there, you can't get in. So you have to pick a date and then hope that.
So it's not even like you can use your card to get in or anything. It's just.
That's kind of you get the gym to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't. But so what's happening is that people are starting underground gyms. Yes, underground gyms, just like underground fight clubs. And what it is that there's some gym owners that are not opening their gym publicly, but they'll hit you with a text message or email and say, hey, you can come by the gym if you want.
Yeah.
Did that work out?
Yeah.
Right. So
really,
it was funny because.
But aren't you guys closed? Yeah, we're closed.
We're closed.
Come on.
Go use the side door. Just use the side door.
I need a lot of barbershops had to do that too when first started.
Back door.
Yeah, man.
Back door.
They would sometimes they would they would cut your hair outside in the back. So that way they can't say that
code violation.
you're using their building and using it as a place of business to cut your hair.
That's hilarious.
Hey, people trying to make it, man.
Yeah.
People trying to make it, you know?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. It's
It's a necessity getting your pump on.
Yeah. So, a good stink. I saw this, and I was immediately curious. So, Danger, you have the floor again.
So I was in my kitchen doing something, and I came up with this concept for this topic, and I thought about it. Right? What is your favorite good stink? You know, what is something that stinks? Right? We know that it stinks, but to you, it smells really good. You know, for me, when I came up with the concept is I was making what was I making? I think I was making a burger, and I had Swiss cheese.
Okay.
And I like the smell of Swiss cheese, and Swiss cheese kind of smell like heat, you know. But something about the smell of Swiss cheese is I like it. It smells good to me. Also, gasoline. I love the way gasoline.
Yes, I was gonna say gasoline was mine.
I don't breathe in too deep, but I like the smell of gasoline.
Exactly. Like I gave it a whiff, and I'm like, that's it's actually kind of good. I know it's not good for me. I know it's not good for me. But
we don't need to judge.
Sometimes I'll be out there and I'm putting gas, and I'll be like, I don't mind this.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I have to. Gasoline was mine.
I don't have one as an adult. As a kid, yeah, but as an adult, nah.
What did you have as a kid?
Shit, that's bad.
Markers? You don't like markers?
Whiteout, definitely markers, but whiteout was my thing. Whiteout.
Okay.
All right.
But now it doesn't do it for you? Is that what it is? You just lost it? You smell whiteout and you're just like...
You know what? They don't make liquid whiteout like they used to, so it's not the same.
Yeah, they have that tape whiteout now, that little...
Yeah. So I had the opportunity to. Okay. So I'm not pressured to fall back.
That sounds like B had a problem. He's like a lot of pressure to relapse. Like if he was on his desk, he'd just be like,
like the
you ain't even got nothing to highlight. You don't even got anything to white out. He's just like,
right.
Let me go move this van.
So, all right.
When I use the bathroom, I mean I'm good. Like,
oh, your own crap.
Yeah, my own.
Like, yeah, I did that.
That's wonderful.
All me, homie. That's all.
Roses.
I can do that all day.
Yo, so side note, what do you do if you absolutely have to go to the bathroom at somebody else's house? Can't hold it in, right? This is a number two. Okay. And you have to go so bad that you do your business, and then you realize, oh snap, there's no toilet paper here. What do you do?
Is there a towel in the bathroom?
Yeah. But the towel is white.
Yo, listen, towel, and I find my way out the door with it some kind of way.
Hey, yo, it's gonna depend on how close I'm with the person.
Word.
So, like, if we tight, I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna hit you up on the cell phone. Like, listen, we got a situation. Right? I'm gonna need you to keep your bag. I need you to find a roll of toilet paper.
Yes.
Face the wall, open door, throw it in like a grenade, and close the door back.
Exactly, yeah. That'll work. Because
it's either that or it gets real awkward where I take a full-fledged shower, use the white towel, get dressed, and be like, I had to freshen up.
Whatever you got to do.
Imagine saying, excuse me, one second, I got to the bathroom. And then hear a shower running.
Now, here's the thing. If the shower is running, do you like try to figure out what the heck is going on, or do you wait until the shower's off and you're like, yo, what was that about?
I ain't going in there. You said you had to use the bathroom and I hear the shower. I'm gonna wait for the story when you get out. I ain't trying to come in.
So what happens? If you let me know you good, then let me know the story when you get out.
That happened to you? That happened to you, G? That happened to you this past week?
No. I'm just, no, there was this one day where I went to the bathroom and I almost, like, I was about to go to the bathroom, but then I realized there was no toilet paper. So then I got some, and then when I got the toilet paper, it made me play in my head, okay, what if I was at somebody else's house and I couldn't get access to the toilet paper?
Yeah.
That makes me want to carry around tissues just because.
Yeah.
Just in the event.
Or wipes. Dude wipes.
Or ass wipes.
Ass wipes.
How picky are you when you're driving, you're in traffic, and you got to use the bathroom?
How what?
How picky are you location-wise when you're
pretty picky.
Traffic? You gotta use the bathroom. What if it's
pretty
bad?
Very picky.
Yeah, I have to go to a casual dining or restaurant or hotel. I
break all kinds of traffic laws to get home. I speed, I run red lights, I run stop signs. I'm getting home. For some strange reason, I don't feel comfortable doing a number 2 anywhere else but home.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a relative's house, but that's a maybe. That's a strong maybe. I gotta go home to do it.
I'm not gonna lie. I have no problem pooing publicly, but it gotta be clean. I'll go to not a Chipotle, perhaps. I'll go to Panera. Panera seems to keep the bathrooms clean. I'll go to Panera.
Certain place.
Do you hover?
Yeah, I'll go to
what? Do you what do you do?
No, you gotta line the toilet. You gotta line the toilet.
Because there's ways. There's the
Yo, what?
That is a false sense of security, bro. What? False sense of security. You telling me you don't think germs can go through paper, my nigga? Come on.
Raw in toilet seats?
What? Are
you raw in toilet seats, my nigga?
Bro, you can't catch nothing from those toilet seats.
What?
Wait a minute. Hold up.
What?
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true.
Fact.
I don't want to take that chance.
So that's my thing. I used to do the paper gasket thing because I heard about stuff, but the paper gasket's a false sense of security. It takes a lot of time to get that set up, and then it's paper.
Yeah.
Germs don't give a fuck about paper. We're seeing that with coronavirus, man. We can't use paper money. We can't use paper money.
But you ain't putting your ass to porcelain though. That's another like you don't know
porcelain. But talking about porcelain, seats are not made of porcelain, my dude.
Made of plastic.
Where you put your ass?
Whatever.
It's not porcelain. Yo, B is trying to be real careful. He's like, listen, I don't know what this plastic's been.
Toilet seat,
all
of that shit come up. Hey, I'm gonna line this bare ass porcelain.
So see, that's the situation in which you need to have very strong quadriceps to be able to squat and hover long enough to do your business, but not touch anything until you're finished.
That's why you have to make sure you go into a clean establishment. I'm not gonna lie. One time I had a horror story. I don't know if I should tell it. I'll tell it real quick. I was in Miami visiting somebody I was talking to, and I had to use the bathroom real bad. But obviously, I wasn't gonna blow up her bathroom because that would have just killed it. So there was a gas station down the block. There was a Valero down in Miami.
Ooh.
It was one of those situations where you had to get the cashier to give you a key.
Yeah. And then usually it's a key attached to a giant piece of wood.
I'm going to tell you, that bathroom, it didn't meet my standards. I didn't have no other option, though. It was it was go time. There was no plan B. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
That time, I ain't go cheeks to seat.
Listen, the squatting thing can be dangerous, guys.
The owl when you're squatting on top of the seat.
That splashback is a scary thing.
Yo, you hit that splashback, go to the clinic. Straight up. Yeah. They're like, so how many sexual partners have you had? Sexual partners? No, I'm not here for that. Had a little splash up public restroom.
Man. Yeah, that's a tough thing, man. Now, another thing, since we're on, funny little topics, face-off facial. What in the blue hell is a face-off facial, Dangerfield?
I don't know. What are you talking about? What is that?
Topic, sir.
This was on
Oh yeah, it was added later on the list.
It was a late entry because I came across this today. I wasn't sure if I was going to put it on the podcast, but I had to. It's amazing. There's a dude on YouTube. I forgot his name, but L be sending videos to him. He's a Caribbean dude that does all those accents.
Yeah.
And I noticed in some of his videos, it looked like he had other people in them, but I realized it wasn't other people, it was him. What he had a mask on, and the mask is rubber and it conforms to his face to where it really looks like a person, but something's weird about it. Something's off about it, he's wearing a mask, right? So I happened to be on Google and I happened to come across this. It said latex female mask. And I was like, latex female mask? I'm thinking what do you mean like female mask? Like a facial mask, like with the oats or the black face, the oatmeal or whatever. I was like, what is this? And I clicked on it. I was like, it's like what the guy had. It's a mask that looks like a person.
Like flesh?
Yes. Like it conforms to your face, but there's small details that kind of give it off to where it looks like it's a mask or you had awful plastic surgery. Like the stuff around the eyes a little bit. Type in latex face female mask.
I have to look this up now.
I thought it was really bizarre because I've never heard about these.
Oh, you know what? This looks like okay. So like there's a couple
I see it. Yeah. Oh.
I've seen with this, like where they would do this type of thing. Yeah. Okay.
And I saw it. It was the first time I was like, that's real bizarre.
That's disturbing.
Like it looks creepy. It looks real creepy. Like on the one hand, I was like, I could see using this for shooting some video if I need to be two people, but it still looks very weird.
It does.
It is very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's disturbing.
Yeah. Also, another thing I thought about, right? Is it cheating if you have your partner wear that? You want to get a little Asian in your life? You're like, throw this on right quick.
It depends. When you're with that individual, are you focused on what the person is wearing? That's giving you that, that pleasure, or are you fully aware of who is under the mask and that's what gets you going?
I feel like it's both. I feel like this is an easy way to compromise on a threesome.
Oh.
Because women don't really want to bring other women in because they feel threatened.
Understood.
So if you can be there, she could be there, but you still get that Asian fantasy here.
But then you're still going to run into the problem of the girl feeling like you were more into her disguise than her.
Yes, you will. There's a lot of insecurities out there, you know what I mean? I don't think you'll be able to overcome them all. But, I feel like this is a step closer. This is probably an easier sell. I'll say it's an easier sell.
Probably.
Yeah. Or maybe you can kind of compromise by being like, all right, we'll put on this Oprah latex face mask. You know what I mean? So,
wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Empower them.
Okay, that's interesting.
Sorry.
So what about that wall, Sir BarZ?
When Trump started his presidency, he made this hoopla about building a wall between the border of Mexico and the U.S.
And Mexico's going to pay for it, and it's going to be the greatest wall anyone has ever seen.
That wall. A couple of things recently when it comes to some updates on that wall. One, have you guys heard? Let me get my information right. Steve Bannon, Trump's former advisor.
Right.
You understand? He recently arrested for fraud.
Yeah.
He was arrested on a. Hold on. What
Gotta hear this.
Was this yacht?
It was on the yacht. Yeah, it was on the yacht. It was on the yacht.
Wait a minute, Steve Bannon has a yacht?
It was like Wolf of Wall Street style.
Yeah,
it was a dock. They went out to go get it.
Something crazy. Okay, so, anyways, Bannon he's gotten in trouble for fraud where he's taken the funds from that have been donated to the wall from Trump supporters and using them for, you know, personal gain or whatever like that. I'm curious if how much involvement Trump actually had with this and how much he was actually aware of it. You know, anytime anyone gets close to him, you know, it's always he hasn't spoken to this person in so long.
Yeah.
No type of communication has happened between them.
I didn't know them very well.
Yeah. But before the crime, they close. They've known them for a long time. They're outstanding people.
Great character.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's hilarious. Did you guys see? I know there was a couple of them. A couple of the Republican.
The RNC that happened.
Yeah.
Like it was actually like I'll be honest with you, watching the contrasts of the DNC and the RNC were super entertaining to me.
Yeah. Why?
Because like you see on one end, you know, how people are carrying themselves with class, the stuff that they're talking about, full of truth. Because hey, you see it. It's full of facts. And then you get to the other side and you hear, how do I put it? It's almost as if every speaker had to find some type of character flaw that number 45 had and try to create a speech to defend that character flaw. If that makes any sense. That's how I took it. Like, this is why he's not racist. This is why he's a real leader. Like, it's...
Yo, Danger, your boy Herschel. What's up, man?
What?
Your boy Herschel. What's up?
Oh yeah, man. So that truly hurt my heart. Al brought that to my attention, man.
Yeah, that.
You know what it is? I think one of two things happened. He did something wrong, and they have blackmail material.
I was gonna say blackmail has to be.
Or he's hurting for money, and he feels more comfortable going to his white friends than he does his black friends. That's only two things I can think of. Because there's no way when he sits there and says that that 45 is not racist. I've known him a long time. He's not racist.
Either he's blackmail material or he's in the sunken place. It's one of the two. Blackmail or the sunken place. That's the two things that make sense to me as to why he said what he said and had so much conviction when he said it. Because it looked like he really believed the crap that was coming out of his mouth.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy because my thing is that just like common sense, right? Whether you're for 45 or not 45, let's just have a regular, plain conversation. If friends of yours have to keep coming to your aid saying, hey, this guy's not racist, this guy's not racist, there's something about what you're doing. So if you're not a racist, you have racist behavior that you're not correcting. And the issue for me is that I believe truly that he is a racist because if you're not a racist, I know that there are some white people who don't know better. They don't have exposure to black friends and actual information, accurate information. So they get stuff wrong about black culture. But if they have black friends that correct them, or if they get caught and they say something ignorant and someone says, that's not correct, they'll usually say, I'm sorry, I didn't know. This is where I got it from. Yeah. And they try to correct it if they're really not racist.
Yeah.
But he gets caught in stuff and pivots.
Mm-hmm.
What he says is, I'm not racist. I'm the most unracist person. You know what I mean? All this stuff. He doesn't say, I'm sorry, I got it wrong. I don't get it. He never says that. Yeah. That's why he's racist, bro. That's why he's racist.
The fact that somebody had to dedicate an entire speech on why he's not racist. Nobody sees anything wrong with the fact that had to be done for people to be convinced that he wasn't racist. He's racist.
Yo, the whole I have a black friend, I have a black best friend thing.
I hate that crap.
So real.
Look at my African American over there.
I meant to tell this story in the last segment when we came to Jacob Blake, right? So I recently had a friend who I kind of just had to cut off. She's been a good friend of mine for years. She's white. You guys might know who I'm talking about or whatever. But anyways, we haven't really been in contact very much recently, but we stay friends on social media, and she's active on social media. but she's not so much into the political things. So she doesn't post a whole lot about politics or even about the things that are going on in society when it comes to Black Lives Matters and things like that.
Right. She prefers to stay out of that argument.
Yeah. But she did post a post comparing the 5-year-old white kid that was killed and Breonna Taylor. And in that post, it was, justice for Cameron when his killer was already caught and in custody. We had a little back and forth about that. And I explained to her the difference.
What was her defense?
Her defense is just, I'm not racist. I just think it's so sad that this happened to this little boy, and nobody's really paying any attention. But everything else is.
The killer was caught.
Yeah, and it was so to the point where even her friends got on to the post as well and was trying to explain to her the difference. Agreeing with me and explain to her the difference. So, all right, that's here nor there. That's some All Lives Matter vibes.
Right.
Right. So okay, cool. You show me, that side of you. I see that. So now I'm watching. I'm watching at this point, because it wasn't the first interaction we had about a police shooting. She has family members who are cops and stuff like that, and she loves cops and shit. So when Mike Brown happened, there was a discussion. But she always played the role of not understanding, not knowing all the information and shit like that. So as everything played out with Jacob Blake, and everyone's on social media and stuff, and I watched her page a little bit just to see, if she was gonna post anything, because we just had this discussion like a week or two ago, and nothing came up. But something popped up on my timeline where she had recently just like a Blue Lives Matter post or a Blue Lives Matter group or whatever. She's officially part of this group that she liked on Facebook. So when I saw that, I deleted her off my friends, and I didn't even say anything to her. I guess she realized I wasn't there anymore, and she texted me. And she went to explaining the whole, why she liked the group, and she has family members who are,
Got defensive.
Yeah, and without me even saying anything, she has family members who are on the police force and who are cops. And granted, this is the same family who she always cried about doesn't check on her, doesn't, she can't go to, she hasn't talked to them in years, all this stuff, right? So, she's explaining all this stuff in this long ass text message, and within that text message, she hit me with the, I'm not racist. I went to Publix the other day and I complimented a black guy on his shirt, and he said, "Thank you."
Wow. That was her best defense. I'm not racist. I gave a black man a compliment
on his shirt. And he said, "Thank you."
So if he didn't say thank you, would that have made her racist? Or still no?
So that makes you a hardcore ally.
So I feel like they need to, if you're gonna say you're not racist, you have to follow it up with something more than your association with black people. Like, I'm not racist. I supported, the anti-segregation bill. Or I'm not racist. I like all people. I just don't agree with you on this.
Right.
I agree that this was wrong, but this is where not, I have two black friends, like G said, or I complimented one black guy.
I voted for Obama.
Right.
Yeah, that's not, you don't get a blanket blessing, guys. We got to do better about showing that you're really not racist, or explaining to us that you're not racist.
Yeah.
I think the only way to come back from someone calling you a racist is by saying, "Excuse me, I apologize if that came off as racist. Please tell me how that came off as racist." Because I obviously don't know.
That person will have to carry.
Because if a black person tells you that this was racist, you should believe them. Like you should believe women when they say they've been Me Too.
Yeah, absolutely. But they would have to care enough. And don't get it misconstrued. Again, this was in her text message to me before I said anything to her. So she's defending herself, and in the defense, letting me know that she's not racist. And this is her example of her not being a racist. I never once said she was racist. I don't think she's racist at all. I think she's
just a bit naive.
I think she has some weird views, and she's not well educated in those views. But
she's not coming to Thanksgiving.
So let's make this clear.
She's not coming to Thanksgiving.
So let's make this clear. Being pro-police is not being anti-Black Lives Matter.
Right.
It's not like that. And being pro-Black Lives Matter is not anti-police. We're not against police. Black people are not against police. We want the police. We want the police to protect us like they're supposed to. We want them to do their job correctly.
We don't want to.
That's the issue. You know, my grandfather was all auxiliary cop. I know cops. My uncle is a corrections officer in New York. I was planning to become a cop. I went through the application process. Our community has no issues not wanting cops, not supporting cops, not wanting cops to be safe. We want them to do their job correctly. That's just the narrative that I think a lot of people, I wouldn't want to say Republicans because I hear it more publicly, but there's probably other people too who just feel that way, like this is an attack on police officers, and it's not. So we need to make that clear that that's not the case. That's the narrative that's being pushed, that's not true.
Be held accountable, hold each other accountable. That's it. If there's good cops out there, great. Good cops, where you at? Stand up, say something. That's what we want. We're not trying to get rid of the police.
Exactly.
You know. So yeah,
but they always go to the extreme.
Yeah.
You know, I heard somebody on Twitter said, "Well, you guys are destroying our property because you want our property and you want what whites want." I said, "Huh." When they destroyed property at the Boston Tea Party, and you know, when they were protesting British tyranny and British rule, they were seen as heroes and, you know, celebrated for their resolve. Yeah, but Black people want equal rights. We get dogs sick on us and hold fire hoses and hot coffee poured on us at lounge counters, but you know, we're just doing it peacefully.
Yeah.
We weren't even trying to get into a fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I just feel like whenever a Black person opposes their own oppression, it's always a problem. You know, always a problem. Like we're supposed to take it.
How dare we try to get a step up?
Yeah, and that's why I hate when people are like, "Well, guys, maybe you should try to be more like Martin Luther King." Like, if I hear that one more time, because it gets on my nerves. I understand wanting us to be a bit more peaceful, but you're gonna also have to understand that, you know, the frustration builds up to a point where being peaceful may not be enough. And what's that saying that they have? Like, because I saw a whole bunch of memes on Instagram where people hold up a sign saying, "Stop telling us to be more like Martin Luther King because you shot him too."
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, it killed Martin Luther King too.
Yeah, and he was peaceful. So what makes you think anything that I do is going to be as effective?
Yeah. So you telling me to be peaceful doesn't do shit.
No.
And plus, before the pandemic, before we start seeing a lot of the marches and stuff, it was peaceful. And what have we gotten from that peace? What change have we seen? What legislation is out there? What protections?
No. After that, we got Jacob. We got Jacob Blake. Yeah. That's what happened. And now they want to ask us why we're pissed? Come on.
I'm sorry. Jesus was also flipping tables when he didn't stand for stuff.
Yes, Jesus was allowed. Jesus flipped tables, knocked over a whole bunch of merchant stuff. Like, it was just, people are allowed to be upset. People are allowed to feel the way they feel if they feel that they're being treated unfairly.
Yeah, make enough noise. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. We're gonna lighten the mood a little bit.
Yeah.
Two comedians that have never been on screen together. I would love to see this happen, but who would win the hypothetical battle of comedy between Jim Carrey and Adam Sandler? BarZ, floor is yours.
Yeah, this has been on social media the past couple of days. You know, everybody's in the versus mode. If you haven't heard, the next versus is Brandy versus Monica.
Brandy and Monica. Boy, I can't wait.
That's gonna be a good one. But you know, we talked about the last podcast. I think even since we've seen a few of these with a different type of verses. So the last one,
like hypothetical. We were talking about that on a fishing trip where we were talking about how what if we got 2 movie directors in a room and made them do versus match.
Yeah, so some people started doing like Denzel versus Samuel Jackson, and then I saw the one for Jim Carrey versus Adam Sandler.
Okay.
For me, Jim Carrey's an all-time favorite.
Yeah,
he's an all-time favorite when it comes to comedic acting. Like there's no other. Yeah, it's him, Robin Williams. Like there's a particular tier, and it's like them, and then no one else. Adam Sandler. Huh?
No, go ahead.
Adam Sandler, Eddie Murphy, of course, Eddie Murphy falls up in there also. But Adam Sandler, he's a great director, storyteller. He has those. But as far as his on-screen comedic timing, it varies. He's a very character. I don't even know if you call him character-based. I don't know if he's
different
very
versions of the
he kind of plays himself a little bit.
Yeah.
Like if he was on the spectrum, he'd be Waterboy, and then if he was a dad, he'd be in all those awful movies he made. Like, yeah. And then actually happened. Like he became a dad, and then he started doing movies like Click.
Different variations of himself.
Yeah. So I thought that was an interesting comparison. A lot of people were saying, Jim Carrey, he's great, but if there was an Adam Sandler movie and a Jim Carrey movie that came out on the same day, a lot of people are going to see Adam Sandler over Jim Carrey.
Which is funny because I think that overall, Adam Sandler has better movies, but I think that Jim Carrey is more consistently a better actor.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've seen a lot of stuff Jim Carrey's been in that I've been like, I didn't like that. Adam Sandler has had some stinkers, but Jim Carrey, he may not have as many movies, but the few that he has, I've been like,
no, Jim Carrey is clearly the better
quality over quantity.
Jim Carrey is the better on-screen talent.
Yeah, it's quantity over quality. I mean, quality over quantity.
Over quality, right?
You have if you were to give them, if you were to switch the roles or switch the movies up, put Jim Carrey in an Adam Sandler movie and Adam Sandler in Jim Carrey movies, I think Jim Carrey would succeed far more than Adam Sandler could. I don't think Adam Sandler could pull off a Grinch, Stole Christmas like Jim Carrey did.
Adam Sandler can't pull off Ace Ventura.
Yeah. Nah. Can't.
The Mask.
Hell no.
Not likely.
Yeah.
I just think that Adam Sandler's had us a better life. Jim Carrey has more to pull from. There's a lot of behind a lot of comedy, there's a lot of pain. And I think Jim Carrey's just been through more stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know his life, but I get that feeling. So when he's playing someone like in a comedic movie where, he had to go through some stuff and still find a comedy, I believe him. Adam Sandler, I'm like, you're probably raised in New York to some rich, aristocratic parents.
Take a lot from his Jewish side. That's where a lot of his storytelling comes from. Is the Jewish community, which I can appreciate.
Yeah, I think that I don't want to say it's like the range. I think that they're different characters, right? They're very, very different characters. Jim Carrey, I think, is on a level of like Robin Williams.
Yeah.
I guess I would say their range for their acting and the comedy and the enthusiasm and the reactions and the face is just off the charts. Like you see them in the dramatic movies where they're solid and focused. Yeah. Then you see them in Mrs. Doubtfire's and The Mask, and they're just off the charts.
And then they can be
Adam Sandler is a little bit more, I think, I don't want to say reserved, but calmer, more tame. Even when he did like Waterboy and some of his more outlandish stuff, like what's Billy Madison?
Yeah,
there's no variation.
It's outlandish, but
there's no variation in the characters that Adam plays. Whereas people like Robin Williams and Jim Carrey, they can be in this movie that's super, super physical comedy, drop down, hold your ribs, hilarious. But then they can go to this movie that's super, super serious and do a great job there too. Whereas Adam kind of saying here and there.
And what's even funny, even so like Uncut Gems, right?
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie. Adam Sandler did a great job in it.
Did it? Because I heard about this. I heard about this for a while. I just watched this like 2 weeks ago.
You didn't enjoy it?
You didn't like it?
Not at all. I was disappointed.
Really?
Disappointed. I'll be honest with you. Disappointed Adam Sandler.
I liked the movie up until the very end when Adam Sandler. Spoiler alert for anybody who didn't.
That was the best part.
Adam Sandler, when he got killed, made me hate the rest of the movie. What? I liked the movie, but then when he got killed, it made me hate everything that I watched before that because it was like he went through all this only to get killed at the end. Now I'm upset.
But that's what the movie's so great for me though, because it was unexpected. Like he movie die at the end.
The movie was hard as hell to follow. I was trying to figure out what was going on the entire time.
So much money to so many.
I appreciate. I get that. I appreciated the fact that it was kind of rough. The way they were shot, it was kind of rough, and it was more natural. The way they were in the store, it was kind of like having conversations. I appreciate that. But how they rolled out the movie, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. And it was to the point where I didn't really care. Like when he got kidnapped, well, he didn't get kidnapped. When they took his clothes and they put him in the trunk.
Yeah.
Normally, you're supposed to feel bad for the character. You're supposed to be concerned. You're supposed to feel embarrassed for him where he had to go into his kid's what's name. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel that connection because I wasn't I didn't get the gravity of what was going on. It didn't pull me in like that. It was just like that weird thing with Kevin Garnett, and then he didn't have the money. It was it missed me, man. It missed me.
I can give you that. It was a few disconnects emotionally in the film. You know what I mean? I think that's why I like the ending so much. Because that was the one emotional pull because it was like, damn, he did all of that. He got it. He hit. You know, everything happened right, and he still ended up getting killed. So that part, that was the part I was waiting for. That was the emotional buildup I was waiting for. So I guess the film kind of built it up to that point to when it finally happened, it had a bigger effect than it would throughout the rest of the movie.
Because you're like, oh man, he finally got things. What? He's dead.
Because it's like the whole movie is like, damn, this nigga keeps fucking up. Like he's fucking up.
Yeah.
Like the whole time,
you're like, this dude cannot catch a break.
At all. It's like you just keep fucking up. Oh, that was stupid. You gave him the rock. You let him hold the rock. You know what I'm saying? Like it was all crazy. Like you said, it was all over the place. And it started finally coming together at the end, and then it happened. But
I forgot. My bad. Why'd you mention the movie? My fault.
No, because it was just saying like, even with a movie that serious for Adam Sandler, he still kind of played Adam Sandler. Like he was still a Jewish, you know what I'm saying? Like he still had that
Jewish guy.
Yeah, he still had that. It wasn't a completely different. He wasn't out of character, you know, as a Jim Carrey would be.
You're not looking at Adam as the character he's playing. You're looking at Adam as Adam.
Yeah, right, correct. Right. It's just an old Adam Sandler.
Yeah, he seems to stay in similar roles that he's comfortable in, where he's not really typecast per se, but the roles stay within his wheelhouse, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you guys, we all agree? Jim Carrey.
We all agree. Jim Carrey is the way better on-screen talent.
Yeah.
So
now
the question is, Jim Carrey versus Robin Williams. Ooh,
we can't do that.
Robin Williams.
Can't do that.
Williams. You know why? You know why it's Robin Williams? You know why it's Robin Williams for me? It's because when you take the funny roles out, because they're pretty, you think, evenly matched with the funny roles, right? When you go into their serious roles, like The Majestic was all right. It was all right. But what was the movie? It was like it is one of my favorite dramatic movies. What Dreams May Come. What Dreams May Come did it for me. When I saw that did it for me. That solidified it for me. Yeah, and also I'm kind of mad at Jim Carrey because Jim Carrey ruined one of my favorite.
What was that? What was that movie that Jim Carrey was in?
It probably wasn't his fault. But
he had Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. That was a good one.
No, but there was two other ones that stand out.
Truman Show? You count Truman Show?
Truman Show, yes, but there was two that were a little darker than Jim.
Man on the Moon. Well, that's what Spotless Mind was a little dark. The Number 23.
Number 23 was one of them.
Number 23 was a good one.
Yeah.
That was good, yeah.
The thriller where he was obsessed about that. Yeah, that was a good one.
But there was another one though where he's investigating a murder. And it's very recent.
It was very recent.
Hold on. He was investigating
the last 2 years.
I'm looking at the list.
You're on IMDb?
I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. We get a more updated list.
Yeah. Jim Carrey filmography.
Oh, what's his name also did the other one where he plays a photographer stalking that family. That was pretty good too.
1 Hour Photo?
That was good too. We do it.
Yeah, 1 Hour Photo. Yeah. It just it's funny to L's point. I imagine that has a lot to do with their ability. What is it?
Dark Crimes. Sorry.
Yes, there it is. Dark Crimes. That's what it was.
I don't know. I mean, Jim. I love them both. It's tough. If I have to put them side by side and literally like go movie for movie, and for me to get my response, really, we should do that though.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Just do our own verses. We set it up movie for movie.
Yeah, movie for movie. Like we have to do that one.
We should do it. Maybe we'll do that next podcast.
Versus actors versus.
Oh, Bicentennial Man was pretty good too.
That
was Disney? Was it Disney film?
No, that was it Disney?
I don't think that was Disney, was it?
DreamWorks? I thought it was one of the.
Might have been
right Flubber, either right after or right before Flubber, but yeah.
Oh, he did have Flubber too. Yeah, we should do it. We should just host verses on one of the podcasts, or maybe separately, where we put up all of their most popular stuff.
We could do it the same way that Hot 97 does, because Hot 97, what they do is they'll just have somebody be in charge of one and somebody else be in charge of the other, and they just
like a debate and just put it up.
Yeah, not as the person, but as a fan of the person playing stuff back to back. That would be cool.
Like a debate, but you're putting up. Okay,
matter of fact, that should be a new.
I'm gonna do the mask. Blah blah blah.
That should be a new show. That should be a new show on Those People Entertainment. The same way we got Final 3, we need to do that for movies, actors, directors, all that. We need to do that.
Okay.
All right. That would copyrighted. Patent pending.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what are we titling it, by the way? We'll
Face Up.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's enough of Jim Carrey and then Robin Williams. I would never be able to tell you a winner.
Yeah. That's a good one, though. That is a good one.
Face the Flick.
Oh, that's nice. Face the Flick?
Face the Flick. Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm gonna write this down before I forget.
Don't steal it. It's copyrighted.
Trademark pending.
Trademark pending. Okay. Sorry.
So last thing before we get into the thought of the day and hypotheticals, vaccines to choose from. What's that about?
So the last podcast episode, we talked about how Russia had supposedly developed a vaccine that they'd skipped preliminary trials and went straight to human trials. Uh-huh. And I read an article from the Washington Post that stated that China also has a vaccine that they skipped preliminary trials and also have been doing human testing for the last month. So, yeah. If these accounts are true, then we may have multiple vaccines that could be available by the end of this year. However, I want to keep in mind that these have skipped animal trials. So with them trying it directly on people, we have no idea how stable it is, if it is going to be released anytime soon, because usually you go through each trials to see how it affects different systems, blood types on a smaller level. But with them going straight to people, we don't really know how that's going to affect the human body and what's going into this testing. But yeah, it looks like there's another country that is on the brink, I guess, of possibly debuting a vaccine for COVID.
I hear that they're possibly considering making it a law, or saying you have to get the vaccine, otherwise you could be in prison.
Mark of the beast.
So
right,
keep an eye out. Real shit. Keep an eye out. But I think it's very weird that if a vaccine comes out, you're gonna pass this law. However, there's no federal law mandating people wearing masks to prevent the spread of it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
don't you think it's a little weird? Like, shouldn't you do this before we get to the people being sick?
Yeah.
All that is true.
But you're gonna do a lot of that forces people to take a vaccine. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
not weird at all.
Very backwards. Very, very backwards.
I'm not taking that vaccine.
No.
Not going in this body.
I'm not taking the mark of the beast. No.
I mean, my mom is a nurse and she believes in Western medicine and vaccines. She gets the flu shot every year. Because she has to for her job. When I get the flu shot, I always get sick.
I was going to say the flu shot isn't always super dependable because you have to consider what strain. You have to consider the mutation as the years progress. There's too many X factors there that doesn't make it.
Point of the flu shot for you to get sick after you get it.
Say it again.
Doesn't that normally happen? Don't you usually get sick after you take the flu shot?
No, that's not supposed to happen. It happens to some people, and I don't know what it is about our system that causes that to occur.
Of the virus, that your body grows an immunity to it.
Yeah, right. It's supposed to inoculate you, but for some reason, I always get massively sick after. It's happened twice. I've only taken a flu shot twice, and both times I got ridiculously sick after.
All right, well, I'm gonna need you not to take it.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm already decided. I don't know what's going to happen.
I'm just gonna need you to just take your vitamins, and you'll be fine from there.
All right.
Yeah. So speaking of that, vitamins are a bit safer.
Speaking of that too, I mean, so a lot of people are talking about like find the bright side of this whole thing. I'm hoping that these vaccines are viable, that they're good, that there's no issues, and that they can come out soon. But there's some things that we have to take care of now, like wearing a mask. And also, there's been some reports of people getting COVID again for the second time, which is very wild because I thought once you got it, you're good.
Yeah.
But honestly, it makes sense that people would get sick again if it's a flu-like virus, because just because you get the flu once in the year doesn't mean you can't get the flu again. So I just thought that was kind of scary though, because we're talking about, the potential for, what is it called? Herd immunity, which is not going to happen. It's not a real thing when it comes to this. You can't do it. But if we were trying to open things back up and flatten the curve and decrease the numbers, you were like, okay, well, if, 56% of the population has it already, we can kind of loosen things up because 56 of the people already had it, won't get sick again.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Let's say only 3% of the people are infected now. We're good. We can open things up and just be careful for those 3% of the population. But if there is a chance of reinfection, it's not really 3%. It might still be the 56. You know what I mean? So it's just a wild time, and it's a wild virus, man. If we've only seen it in a few cases, but if we see it in more cases, we're just never gonna be able to get rid of this thing. It's just gonna keep cycling through.
It's not I don't know what this thing is, but people are getting like seizures and hearing loss and heart problems and like debilitating, like long lasting effects like from this thing. It's just weird.
It's scary.
It sounds like it was grown in a petri dish.
It was.
It probably was.
I firmly believe that it was. I feel like it's either that or nature is really angry, and this is vengeance. Because the way this thing moves,
someone is pissed off because it's a lot of shit happening right now.
Yeah.
This year alone, and these 8 months, man, literally every month of this year, there has been something that's been personal or something that we've all experienced together. Like, it's been something.
Yeah, I don't know what his plan is, but we're not seeing eye to eye lately. We've been arguing a lot.
Yeah.
She's talking about Jesus.
Yeah, I ain't got no beef. I keep telling them I ain't got no beef. I don't want no smoke.
None.
Not that kind.
I see what you did there. That was clever.
I keep telling them I don't understand. I don't agree.
Oh.
There's certain ones. It's like, why is he here?
Yeah.
But you take him. He's here, but you take him.
We lost John Lewis and T'Challa literally like a few weeks apart, and the orange Cheeto is still in the White House.
took his brother. You took his brother.
Right.
You took the wrong Trump.
You took his brother. Yeah.
You took the wrong Trump. You took the harmless one.
Right.
And you left us
one
with
that was no threat to us. That
Right.
decided to take.
I didn't even know this nigga had a brother.
Me neither.
right. And you left us with 45 and his demon spawn and her husband.
Crazy.
She's, they're grooming her to run for office, right?
Oh no, I definitely see that.
His mini-me.
I definitely see that. Well, that isn't that. You mean the same mini-me that he said if it wasn't his daughter he'd have sex with?
He will date her, yes, and she laughed about it.
Oh, daddy, you're so silly. Sick freak.
Disgusting.
It's funny because as she was up there just talking about him and stuff, and just how she was talking, I don't know, it was just weird. I got a lot of, it was
Weird
weird.
vibes.
Yeah.
Gross.
Which, hey, you want to jump in my thought of the day?
I was just about to say that's gross.
I was gonna say, speaking of gross.
Well, my thought of the day, I thought this was quite interesting. I forget what I was talking about, but the Bible came up. And Adam and Eve came up.
I'm very terrified of where this is going.
Me too.
G, you know what, G? You can educate me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not that familiar with the Bible. I must admit, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know the Bible like that because I don't. Okay? I probably know maybe like a piece of the first story in the Bible.
I feel like I know where you're going with this. So I'm just going to let you continue what you're going to say.
All right. So my question
has probably been asked a lot.
My thought of my question is, Adam and Eve, they were the first ones on this planet.
Yep. I knew it. Go ahead.
All right, they were the first ones on this planet. All right. And we are offspring of Adam and Eve, correct?
We are all
almost,
people from
it's like their children, kind of.
I guess technically, yeah.
Technically, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
so in a sense, we're all related in some way.
So it's a two-parter now. So for the first part, how was the Earth populated just from these two people?
Exactly how you think it's populated, BarZ.
In the biblical sense, G, how was the Earth populated with just these two people?
There are stories in there that go into a little bit more detail, but yes, it's very
incestuous.
Yes. Incestuous relationships were
a thing.
Tolerated by the God in the Bible up to a certain point. In the Bible, a certain point, it says, all right. It says, all right, we good. We got enough numbers to make multiple nations now. We straight.
Good. Let's
So the incest. Adam and Eve have children. Their children have children with each other.
Let's not call it that. They were not related.
They came from the same two people. I'm just trying. Again, I don't know the story like that. I'm not very well versed in the Bible, so this is my question. They came from the same two people.
I'm gonna have to go further in terms of my research on the details of that.
Yeah,
you are not far off in terms of the incestuous origin of a lot of these families that have birthed from these individuals.
So if we go off of that, the fact that it was incestuous behavior happening back then, and we're all a product of that incestual relationship, right? We're all brothers and sisters under this umbrella created by.
No, we're not. No. We would be cousins, very far removed. Very far removed.
Okay, I have something biblical.
Go for it.
So Genesis 4 narrates life outside the garden, because you remember they were expelled from the garden for not following directions. They were bad children. Including the birth of Adam and Eve's first child, Cain and Abel. and the story of the first murder, Cain and Abel didn't get along. A third son, Seth, is born to Adam and Eve, and Adam had other sons and daughters. So Adam did some stuff with.
I'm sorry to cut you off, because you just gave me 3 offsprings that were all males.
Male, and then Adam had other sons and daughters. Don't know how that happened.
That's where the daughters come from.
Yes. Genesis 5 lists Adam's descendants from Seth to Noah with their ages at the birth of their first sons, and the ages at death.
So they first had 3 sons, and then Adam and Eve later had daughters.
But one of those 3 sons had a kid.
Not yet. So the first 2 people, Adam and Eve, the first round of children they had were the 2 boys. There's 2 boys.
Cain and Abel.
And then Seth came after. So their first round of kids were 3.
So Seth hadn't had kids yet.
No one had kids because there's only boys now at this point. There's only boys around. All right. Then Adam has another round of kids with Eve that are girls.
Okay.
I feel like this is just making it worse.
Mm-hmm.
Now, well, I mean, my next thing. Okay, so we're acknowledging that there are possibilities of incest.
Yes.
What are the possibilities of pedophilia?
I'm walking out. It's fine.
I figured that it was.
Keep going.
What are the possibilities? There were no possibilities. So there were no possibilities. Technically.
There were no what?
No possibilities. Technically. So technically there were no possibilities because in the Bible it talks about when a woman goes through her period. When a girl goes through her period, and the period is supposed to signify womanhood. And back in those days, that's what was legally a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So
because there was no laws for pedophilia, right? Pedophilia didn't exist at that time. I think there's a lot of historical law and cultural law changes that happen as the use progressed. So there are.
It's only going to get worse. Like we haven't got off the topic.
So there are a lot of things that were illegal then that's not illegal now, and then there's things that were things
legal
that
are
legal back then that are not legal now.
Oh, got you.
Okay. It's all about the cultural and historical laws that have changed throughout the years.
Okay, cool.
I mean, they could have gotten impregnated by angels.
But at that time, the Immaculate Conception was really Mary.
Yes, but we don't know. I mean, not everything is like
You're right. You're right.
Anything's possible. I don't know if anyone would leave that out, but like like if somebody accidentally got pregnant when they wasn't supposed to, that'd be my go-to. Like, I got the same thing Mary had. Angel.
Like, wait, where'd this baby come from? God. Miracle. That's I would imagine that's a tough sell.
Probably.
Yeah.
I thought that would be fun for us.
You're looking at your computer screen.
Well, I have a new list of hypotheticals.
Oh boy.
I do.
All right.
I don't know if I'm gonna be here for this. This is worse than what he said before.
I'm not playing though.
So just listen.
If you're here, you're gonna get it. Once it stays with you,
and watch us torture ourselves.
It'll be traumatic. Once you hear it, it'll stay with you. You won't be able to unhear it. All right, she's sitting in. Thank you. Please do.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So
You said you'll pray for our souls. I said yes. I accept.
And I promise you, it's a mixture. So they're not all crazy. There might be some others. I haven't went through this entire list, but some stuff. So
what are we doing? 1 through 21?
Yeah, we got 170 questions.
Good Lord. This list might last a while.
We should
keep track of the numbers.
We should break it up, bro. Like we can't do 1 through 170. Like we should break that up into like tens or something.
I think we should keep it as is. This is great.
Yeah,
one through 170.
Yeah, because the likelihood of us picking the same number is very low.
I want 170.
170. Go ahead, G.
97.
97. Go ahead, L.
He ain't doing it.
I said no.
All right,
She just wants to be the what's her name. She wants to be the.
I promise they're not that bad.
It's probably still enough.
If this list is anything,
this is a setup.
if this list is anything that last list, don't believe me.
I thought this is a setup.
Man, I'm telling you.
It's a situation where it makes you think about humanity as a whole and you as a person, like your moral compass.
Like most conversations with BarZ, I know.
You're welcome. All right, you guys give me a number.
Oh, for who? For you? Danger, you want to take this one or you want me to do it?
2.
2?
It just feels right. I hope it's something awful.
All right, so all right, you ready? So Danger.
I know. I knew he was gonna go. You know why he was gonna go for me? He's gonna go for me because L's here. That's why. Go ahead. I knew it. I knew it.
Nah, honestly, so check it out. Check it out, right? So 170. If you can be an NPC in any video game, what game would you choose to reside in? NPC standing for non-playable character.
Let's see. What's a video game that I can't get teabagged in? Minecraft? Minecraft. Yes, Minecraft.
Because you
nothing
can't
weird. Nothing weird can happen to me in Minecraft. I go with
Roblox.
What'd you say?
Roblox is another game that you can't get teabagged.
Yes.
You gotta give me a character though. What's the character?
Tetris. I'll be the wall. Just, I'll be that. What is it?
All right. All right. G.
Why are you laughing? Oh God.
I'm just laughing at Danger's response. That's all. That's all, brother. It's nothing. These are kind of soft. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You ready?
I'm ready. Go ahead. 97.
What amusement park do you wish existed?
What amusement park do I wish existed?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
If you could build the ultimate amusement park, what would it consist of, G?
Superhero park, incorporating all Marvel, DC, and other comic book properties in the park with rides and stuff like that.
Okay. All right.
Isn't that Islands of Adventure?
No. Islands of Adventure has only a few character rights for Marvel. But the one that I want to dream is everybody. Everybody gets a ride.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Would it include the racist early DC characters, or Marvel characters, or not?
Yeah, why not? Sure.
I would do all Wakanda. All Wakanda theme park.
Bojangle Man.
Yeah, because then there'll be a whole separate park that is Wakanda. Because you know, like they have
the whole one of Wakanda. Man.
You could have a Wakanda.
Right.
That would be dope. I'm not gonna lie, that would be dope. If anybody's listening from any of the theme park developers or existing theme parks,
it's coming. If you don't think of Wakanda's coming now,
man,
I think Busch Gardens should jump on that because they have the whole, kind of African thing that they kind of steal. So.
Yeah.
Or maybe not because it's Busch Gardens.
Yeah, no, we're not from the bush.
So,
not just lions and tigers.
Yeah.
We got technology too. We created the Sphinx and the pyramids, technology, mathematics, etc.
By the way, who owns that now? Is Disney, right?
Who?
Yeah.
Disney owns the rights to Black Panther. Okay.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Get a whole bunch of vibranium stuff.
All right. So number 2, what laws would you abolish if you could, and what laws would you create?
Yeah, I think L can choose one. These are nice. These are nice. And,
these are nothing like this is nothing like what we usually.
This is not a setup.
I'm gonna find the next week. Don't worry. This is ridiculous.
Okay. Well, I'll go with number 8 when you're ready. But you gotta answer yours.
You gotta answer your question first, though.
Yeah.
What laws would I abolish? What laws would I abolish?
Hey, Greenleaf. Greenleaf. Greenleaf.
Greenleaf law? What is that, Danger?
Huh? It's a federal law that allows Greenleaf for everyone without a prescription.
Oh, marijuana? That one? That's what you meant by Greenleaf?
I was talking more about CBD, which is used for healing powers, but I guess you could use it for that other stuff too.
No. THC all the way. THC all the way. That would definitely be one of them. Oh man, that's a loaded question. I have to do some thinking. Off rip, I can't think of that.
Bars was like, I'd like to abolish that law that prevents me from having to tell my neighbors that I'm in this.
All right. Let me see. Go at number 8. Oh, this is probably a little loaded too, but maybe not. If you could be the CEO of any company, what company would you choose and why?
Like an existing company?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
An existing company right now. I'm trying to think.
Greenleaf.
Be quiet. No, I'm trying to think of like where I can do the most good. No, I would say it would be a technology company. I don't know, maybe Apple, one of the top ones.
Yeah.
But you know why? Because I want to make technology more accessible to countries where it's not. I think women and girls have been cut out of, being in the C-suite and being involved in technology, and I want to expand that for people of color too. I don't know. I think a lot of countries like India and China, they do a really good job of grooming the next technology like whizzes coming out of those countries. And I think America is behind on that, particularly in the Black community, Black and Brown community. So I will set up like little Apple schools in the hood. Kids could learn coding, different languages.
For a country that's supposed to be number one when it comes to that kind of stuff, like, let's say, for example, like New York, there should be no reason why New York doesn't look more like Dubai.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just, a lot of the resources aren't being used right. So. I
mean, I recruit for technology, and the majority of the qualified people need a visa. And the companies have to pay $20,000, $30,000, for an H-1B visa so somebody can come to work for us. Like when we have some of the best technology companies in the world, it makes absolutely no sense. I mean, I'm not saying these people should be able to find jobs, but what happened to the education system in our country? Like, why is it that we have to get so much talent from outside?
Outsourcing instead of
if they get their knees off our neck, you will have the next Apple CEO from the hood. I'm just saying.
They'd find a lot more homegrown talent here than outsourcing all the time.
Exactly.
Say L for president.
I think, you're the third person that's told me like in the last month that I should run for office.
L for president.
Hey.
I can't be president. I wasn't born here.
L's gonna go up against Kanye.
Oh, I will have a little boy crying in the corner.
Oh man.
She would.
But I can't run for president though. I'm not a citizen. I mean, I'm a citizen, but I'm not naturally born.
Well, what's the highest position we can get you to run for so we can make that happen?
Nancy Pelosi's job.
Okay, we'll make that happen.
All right, that's what we're doing.
Yes. Speaker of the House.
I feel very relieved of these questions being so safe.
Yeah, we got off light, especially after our Bible talk.
I feel like BarZ is going to go on a tear looking for some terrible ones for next week.
I got to, man. I got to redeem myself. That was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
He's going to look for the worst of the worst. He's like, oh, you thought it was bad before.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be
probably
like,
thinking, screw this list.
He's going to be like, kill your favorite person in your family. You're like, what? What's the option? Where the options go?
Jeez.
Yeah, that was too intellectual and too inspiring and too positive.
Yeah, all of them were pretty inspiring. Very happy that I participated.
I have a follow-up to like the Bible thing.
No. We're not. We already moved on from that. We're in a good place. We're gonna end it on a good place.
Come on.
You know, BarZ is not going to feel 100% great if you don't end it this way. So
no, I just have something very interesting. So in ancient Judaism, they mentioned that it reconciled that by stating that in Genesis 1, male and female, he created them, indicates that God originally created Adam as a hermaphrodite.
So they're not related?
Bodily and spiritually, both male and female, before creating the separate beings of Adam and Eve.
Yeah, well, they're not. Even though they're not related, that's the issue. That's not the issue, right? Because even though they're not related, they have kids that are related.
No,
that's
right.
It says other rabbis suggested that Eve and the woman of the first account were two separate individuals. The first being identified as Lilith.
Lilith, yes.
Oh no, that's not real. That's not real though.
Rabbis?
Right?
Oh, the rabbis were lying.
No, I don't know if that's coming from the rabbis. I thought I read that was a
real thing.
I thought that was a wives' tale that Lilith was the first woman. Because I remember watching a movie. It was, I think, Dracula, one of the Dracula movies.
True Blood.
Was it True Blood that brought up Lilith? And I was looking into it. I was like, word? I heard about it, but I thought that wasn't real.
It says Lilith is a figure in Jewish mythology developed earliest in Babylonian Talmud, which is around the 3rd and 5th century AD. Lilith appears as Adam's first wife, created at the same time, Rosh Hashanah, and from the same clay as Adam. Compare Genesis 1:27.
Does it say what happened to Lilith?
The figure of Lilith may relate in part to historically earlier class of female demons.
Yeah. That's what I heard, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what?" So like Lilith,
well, you got to
cast and brought Eve. He just can't make women that are not evil.
You got
Oh, now what now?
No, but you got to consider that there are a lot of non-canonized books of the Bible that were banned. So the Bible that we know it. There's lots of books that was decided by was it Nebuchadnezzar?
Whoever won.
Whoever, like they were the ones that decided what books were included in the Bible or not. And there's a lot of books that were excluded that have a lot of stories that were purposely left out of the Bible that we know. Like there's a story where because you know how like they when you're reading the New Testament, they talk about Jesus' birth, and then they fast forward to him being a grown man. They don't talk about his childhood. Mm-hmm. And there were stories where they were talking about how he would outsmart a lot of his teachers, and the teachers didn't like him because of it. There was this one day where he was playing on the beach, and he was making like these clay birds, and somebody was like, "Oh, you're not supposed to be doing that on the Sabbath." And then he made the bird fly away. There was another one where this kid fell off the roof and Jesus brought him back to life and told him not to say anything. Jesus was a gangster.
And then he told somebody because the story went on.
It says Lilith left Adam after she refused to become subservient to him and then would not return to the Garden of Eden after she had coupled with the archangel Samuel. So Lilith was the first feminist. And they have to make her into a demon?
Wait, time out. So she left Adam and then coupled with an angel?
Yeah, Samuel. Samuel. Mm-hmm.
So I think it's two things. Right? It's two things that are interpreted. if this is true, I don't know if it's true or not. I'm definitely going to do some more research on it. If it's true, I think that'll be amazing as far as for the Bible and these stories, as G pointed out, which I think is fascinating. Have they fact checked the other books that didn't make it into the Bible? I would love to read them.
There's a whole banned books of the Bible. Look up banned books of the Bible. You'll see them.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check it out. But I think of two things when I hear that story. One, that's saying that divorce is acceptable if Lilith was able to leave Adam. Or two, Adam's a dirty bird. Lilith's a dirty bird who slid off and got with the archangel.
She said, I don't want to be subservient to you. And
then busted open for archangel?
I mean, he understood her more.
I don't know. Did they have an agreement to separate? You know what I mean?
That part.
Damn. Lilith can't get no.
I mean, you know, I don't know. She got kicked out and supposedly had relations with demons. We don't hear about her popping up in the Bible no more. Like your character got cut out of the rest of the history.
Yeah, like most powerful women in history.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of the powerful women we still remember have stories about.
Yeah, like the prostitute. Yeah.
Who? Oh, Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
How old was her?
What about the Queen of Egypt? Yeah, the Queen of Egypt.
She was also evil, right?
Huh?
Wasn't she like bad tempered?
Yeah, but she wasn't bad. You know, she's the boss. there was respect on it.
I said how she was portrayed.
He said there was what? There was respect.
Because there was respect.
On that note,
hilarious.
And check us out on YouTube, Spotify, and all podcast platforms. But as always,
hey, keep supporting those people, even in these rough times, man. Keep supporting those people because we will continue to support you.
Yes, sir. And that we are out.
Doses.